What's up, everybody? Welcome. Here's a bonus clip for you. I got a Sov Cit at a Judge Washington, and then I'm going to show you the replay if you missed the live of the crazy mom in the custody battle at a Judge Brian Kirkman. So let's roll it up, nerds.
Because I don't want to cause any confusion out there. But did send you a document in your ex officio capacity, placing you as a fiduciary to this case and account, uh, and which was not answered. So a notice of fault was sent, stating that you agreed to the claims within the initial executive order, or excuse me, affidavit high prerogative writ of quo warranto, uh, to take over the uh, assets of the case to charge it off to the plaintiff. But as I've sent the response to the plaintiff, if the plaintiff is not prepared to address the response, as it was stated to the plaintiff that they had until today to address all of which was um, requested to be addressed in the response, or in the correspondence to the plaintiff. If they weren't prepared to answer all those today, then the case will be dismissed, and the account will be satisfied.
All right, so my ruling on the motion is exactly what Mr. Borkin said. First of all, I don't have any jurisdiction over whatever issues you're bringing up because those are not actual issues. Secondly, that's not an actual motion. There is no basis for the motions that you filed in the law as we exist.
Objection.
Sir, if you object again while I'm talking, you're going to get held in contempt. Do you understand?
I don't understand what you're saying. I'm trying to. Uh, I understand that the court doesn't have jurisdiction because it's
Over your
the property.
motion, there's nothing that you have said that is even a real motion, sir. The motion is denied.
It's affidavit. It's not a motion.
All right, I'm gonna schedule this for a hearing, at which time, sir, I advise you once again to go seek legal counsel. It appears you didn't do that at all. And then, I'm gonna schedule it on the 24th. Are you available, Mr. Borkin, on the 24th?
I would be, Your Honor.
I would not be available.
Then if you don't show up to court on that day, sir, the hearing will be held without you.
According to the judicial code of conduct, you're supposed to extend. I'm not a United States citizen. I'm a foreign national, and I'm here under my nation's constitution, laws, and bylaws, and I'm only here to settle the matters at hand. This is dealing with trust property. The property in question has been conveyed to the Tariq Smart Tarikade Living Trust, along with the personal information of the alleged defendants, which is now being used in the public without just compensation for the use of that private property. Uh, a promissory note was signed, the lease was signed, but full disclosure was not given that what was taking place was a consumer credit transaction, and cash is not a necessity to satisfy a consumer credit transaction. But with it even being a consumer credit transaction, full disclosure wasn't stated that the lease and the private property of the signature of the alleged defendants will be used to securitize that lease, and which by itself destroys the or separates the lease, which is the bill, and the security, which is the signature. Because without us, the reason why you don't have subject matter is because we give the subject, which is the property, we make it matter, as we were the ones to sign a consumer credit transaction. But we weren't offered the remedy of not having not having full disclosure. Within any contract, full disclosure is a must, and we weren't granted that, along with the other issues that brought this whole account up, within the public. So if we need to address it at a later date, I would say no, because I have already brought forth my claim, and my claim has not yet been rebutted. To say that what I have to say as a national or foreign national is not recognized by you is dismissive, and that's religious discrimination, because all I'm doing is what Article 1 of the United States Constitution says. It gives me a right to perform my religious execution. I have the right to religious freedoms, in which you're stating, as you're trying to, or your statements have been dismissive towards my religious freedoms, which would be discrimination on your part. And I know that's not what you're attempting to do, but that's what is being done. And along with the discrepancies with the plaintiff. And all I'm here to do, ma'am, I understand what you asked. I didn't understand what you asked our previous date of stating that you felt I was incompetent, or that I didn't understand the procedures that were taking place. I just wanted to be private, as I didn't want to cause confusion amongst the masses out here, because I'm not a United States citizen like most of the people on this call. I'm a foreign national, and I come under the laws of my country and under my nation and under my constitution, along with international law, such as the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, along with the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, which give us the right to self-government, self-determination, and self-autonomy.
Mr. Day, you've talked.
Yes, ma'am.
I will see you on March 24th, 2023 at 3:30.
Is this excuse me, what is the type of case this will be?
All right, the court will call the case of HCM.
Can you hear us, ma'am? Unmute, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, okay, let's go.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Wagner, and this matter, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to pay child support and or related expenses. Upon a first conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. If it's a second or subsequent offense, up to 90 days in jail. You understand the charges, sir?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, the court has appointed Mr. Sackrider to represent you in this matter. Have you had sufficient time to speak to Mr. Sackrider in preparation for this proceeding?
Yes.
And Mr. Sackrider, you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll have Ms. Wills, Mr. Wagner, and what's your, ma'am, what's your name?
Kelly Bridges.
Burgess. Ms. Burgess, we'll have you all raise your right hand. We'll have you sworn in, then we'll proceed.
Oh, for him too. Mr. Wagner, raise your right hand too, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Ms. Wills, you can proceed.
All right, the docket before you, Your Honor, is 2019-846DS in the matter of Ms. Kelly Bridges versus Mr. Derek Wagner, with Mr. Wagner being the payer. This is an adjourned enforcement hearing. I was adjourned to allow him to be represented by court-appointed attorney as requested. It was originally, prior to that adjournment, a bench warrant hearing for his failure to appear at a referee hearing on June 13th of 2022. The order being enforced today is the modified uniform child support order dated January 13th of 2020, which states that his current child support is $109. after servicing and processing fees brings it to $112.50. His last payment was $148.28 on September 3rd of 2021 via unemployment.
Right,
He has been show cause 3 times with 1 bench warrant and 1 finding of contempt. The previous 6 months at $112.50, he should have paid $675, and he has paid none.
because he's a bum.
As of February 28th of 2023, his total arrearages are $4,747.94. There have been no previous jail sentences with that previous contempt hearing. Mr. Wagner was booked in on March 3rd in the Calhoun County Jail on separate charges. When he was booked in on our warrant, he was in jail from February 16th to February 23rd.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Sackrider, do you contest or dispute any of the statements made by Ms. Wills?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any questions for Ms. Wills?
Yes. Miss Wills, has he been in jail since February 16th?
No, so he was in jail February 16th to February 23rd. He bonded out on the 23rd, and then he was booked back into jail on March 3rd. And he's been there since March 3rd on separate charges that are not FOC related.
Okay. And does he qualify for the LEAP program?
Nope.
No, so with Mr. Wagner, let me make sure that we have his correct address on file. The previous address, he does qualify for LEAP. However, due to, us not being able to get in contact with him and having the bench warrant for so long, he did not qualify. He does now, as long as he doesn't have any other warrants in the state of Michigan.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Okay. Any proof, Mr. Sackrider?
Yes, I'd call Mr. Wagner.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Wagner, can you hear me?
Yes,
You heard the testimony of Miss Wills, is that correct?
yes,
Is there anything that you disagreed with?
no, sir.
Okay, so you were booked in, looks like February 16th, and then you bonded out on February 23rd by posting a $100 bond, is that correct?
Correct.
Are you willing to put that bond amount towards your child support arrearages?
Absolutely.
He needs to pay more than $100.
Okay, hold on a second. Ms. Bridges, we're taking testimony from Mr. Wagner, not from you at this time. You'll have an opportunity to speak after that, so please don't interrupt.
Okay. All right. Ms. Wills testified that you're being held on other criminal charges in the jail. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a hearing date or a release date for those other charges?
I have a release date on the 8th.
On April 8th,
Yes, sir.
you're expected to be released.
Yes,
Okay. Prior to February 16th of 2023, were you employed?
no,
Lie.
Hold on
Okay.
a second. Just hold on. Ms. Bridges, was I unclear about not speaking or interrupting? Ma'am?
So what? Y'all can shake a piece of shit motherfucking hand and say
Hey,
congratulations.
ma'am, if you go off like that, you can be held in contempt of court and go to jail. Do you want to do that?
Just proceed to the fucking court hearing and shut up.
Ma'am? One more outburst or one more vulgarity and you will be going to jail. You understand?
Good luck.
What, ma'am?
I said good luck. Finish court.
Go ahead, Mr. Sackrider.
How are you supporting yourself prior to February 16th of 2023?
Odds and end jobs. Like I said, I've been unemployed. Just this and that, what I can get by.
All right, when was the last time you were employed?
Before fall.
Before fall of 2022?
Yes.
And what were you doing then?
I was working subcontracting to a construction company and I was terminated.
Okay,
I had not
Yeah.
had time to be placed on payroll before I was terminated.
okay. And so you've been homeless since that time?
On and off, yes.
Where do you stay mostly?
I was staying with my parents, but because of the ongoing charges, I have a no contact order with them.
Okay. Do you struggle with substance abuse?
No,
You
I have in the
struggle,
past, but not currently.
okay. What is what's your highest level of education achieved?
10th,
Are you willing to pursue a GED?
eventually, once I get things in order.
Okay. And what can we tell this court that your plan is to meet these obligations if you were to be released from jail?
I have court on the 31st. I'm supposed to be placed on probation, which I will be required to gain employment, which upon gaining employment, I will be able to start making payments on my child support as required. I mean, besides that, there's really nothing else I could say.
All right, would you be willing to participate with Miss Wills in the LEAP program?
Yes,
All right, so you would be willing to work with a temp agency and find employment and set up income withholding?
yes.
Okay. All right, so is there anything else that you would like to tell the court?
Nope, I think that's it, sir.
All right, I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Wagner, in the last year, how much have you worked?
Altogether, probably about 2.5 months.
And during that time, you obviously didn't pay any child support. Why was that?
I just failed to pay. I failed to pay. I mean, honestly, there's no excuse for it.
And during those 2.5 months, how much would you say you made on an average week?
About $200 a week.
Okay. When you weren't working, what were you doing to acquire employment?
Shovel snow, handyman work.
Okay, so just odd jobs during that time.
Yes,
Did-
sir.
Did you apply for any employment during that time?
I have not had an ID, birth certificate, or social security card for quite some time. I had just acquired that previously before being incarcerated on the 3rd.
Let me ask you, you said that you will eventually seek your GED. Why have you not done it previously?
I haven't had the resources to, sir.
Anything else that you'd like me to be aware of, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bridges, you can ask Mr. Wagner any questions pertaining to the issue before the court, which is his non-payment of child support. Do you have any questions?
I already know why his non-payment of child support is, why he's had a job the whole time working for Larson's Construction, making $26 an hour underneath the table for months now.
Okay,
And still,
ma'am,
baby,
this is
in a
your time
fucking
to ask him, this is your time to ask him questions, not for you to give a statement at this point. So if you have any questions for him, ask those.
okay, Derek, seeing you had money to buy alcohol, why were you not paying your child support?
I was terminated because you had contacted FOC before I had a chance to be placed on payroll, so I was terminated.
That's not my fault. You know you're supposed to pay child support. Pay your shit. Be a man. Instead of a bum drunk.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Sackrider? You're muted.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Court will make the following finding this matter. In this case, Mr. Wagner has a minimal support obligation of $148.50 per month, including his arrearage repayment in this matter that, in fact, over the last year, he has, as he stated, he's worked approximately 2.5 months during that time, making $200 per week. On each of those weeks that he acknowledges that he simply failed to pay, and there's no excuse for not doing so. In addition to that, he did have odd jobs. He stated that he has been hindered somewhat because he has not had an ID or a birth certificate, etc., to acquire employment, but he has not stated any effort he's made to acquire that. Likewise with the GED, other than that he's had no money to do that. The court will find that he has had the present and the ability to pay, that he's failed or refused to pay, and therefore he is in contempt of court. Anything before sentencing, Mr. Sackrider?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. My client testified that he will be on probation upon his release and his other criminal matters, and he will be looking for employment to satisfy this obligation. We would ask that any jail sentence be 31 days or less, with credit for 7 days already served in this matter. We would request a purge amount in the amount of $400. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Well, in this matter, Mr. Wagner, I could sentence you up to 45 days. I'm not going to do that only because it is your first time that you would have any jail time, even though you did have a prior contempt. There was no jail time at that point. What I'm going to do is I am going to sentence you to 21 days in jail with credit for 7 days served, and I'm going to put a purge amount in place of an amount of $500. If you're able to pay the purge amount, then you would not have to serve the balance of your jail sentence. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Court will end this matter at 11 a.m. You're free to go. Have a good day.
That's bullshit. You guys shake his hand and tell him congratulations.
Ma'am, the case is done. We don't need to hear anything else from you.
Fuck you. Bye.
Hold on, ma'am. The court is going to hold Ms. Bridges in contempt of court based upon the last outburst and the last vulgarity. Ms. Wills, do you have Ms. Bridges' phone number? Can you contact her and get her back?
Yes. Let me just go ahead. If you allow me, would you like me to go off record while I call her right now to get her back on the Zoom?
No, go ahead. We'll just hold on and put her on.
Okay. All right. Hi, Ms. Bridges. This is your enforcement officer. Judge Kirkham was wondering if you could please log back on to Zoom to speak with him. If you could please log back on, Judge was requesting that. Okay, just log right back onto the Zoom room and they'll let you in. she hung up on me. So I'm unsure if she will log back in or not.
Let me see. This may be her.
Okay. Yes, that's her.
Ms. Bridges, I had warned you multiple times about your outbursts and your vulgarity, and apparently that did not have any impact. What the court is going to do based upon the last outburst, ma'am, the court, is she muted? Are you muted, ma'am? You can unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
You don't want to listen to anything I say. You just want to shake this motherfucker's hand and tell him
Ma'am,
congratulations. Let's be a
Ma'am,
piece
the
of
court
shit
is holding you in contempt of court. I'm sentencing
You
you
ain't
to
holding
3
me to shit,
days.
bitch. Fuck off.
3 days in jail, ma'am. You'll be sentenced to 3 days in jail. You will have to appear on, we'll have her appear on March 17, 2023, no later than 4:00 PM to serve her 3 days in jail. If she fails to appear, the court will enter a bench warrant for her arrest at that point.